your Wednesday been? Sorry, your Thursday been? They're all blurring into one.
Oh, it's one big happy long life. So far, it's been great.
And so I'll lead with the most obvious question to ask you, which is,
Is it really me? Is this really me?
Yeah, I'd like to think that you are picture perfect with everyone by this point.
But what's funny, but is it really me?
I would like to think so. I certainly hope so. You've got me asking all kinds of otherworldly questions.
I'm trying to figure out how much of Clown do you really know?
Well, I think that's what this next hour is going to be about. And
let's hit it.
The Electric Theatre is a good place to start because the thing with these interviews with you in particular, Sean, there's a certain pre-interview feel that is different to other people. Because I was just saying before you arrived, there's a level of depth to the answers and the mind that you ask these questions. So what's it like for you before interviewing people? And the one thing that seems to link every guest that you've had on the Electric Theatre is creativity. So how does it feel to be on the other side of the mic, I guess is what I'm asking.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. Can you hear me just perfectly?
Yes.
All right, good. I hate it. And the reason why I hate it is because numerous things that we could spend many, many hours speaking about. We'll just get to a couple of them very obviously. Number one, right or wrong, I take everything I do very seriously because life is a gift. And I think what a lot of people around me haven't seen is that it's been a lot of people taking shots at me or my band or the band I'm in or what we stand for or the art. It's been that way from the beginning. So there's a certain side of me that comes through on the tree. And I don't always like pelicans sitting on my branches. I've been known to cut branches off, whatever, man. So I don't like it because it's so personal. And I got forced to do it, to be honest with you. I got talked into it, forced into it. I decided podcast because it was a challenge. I was asked to do something to partake in, obviously, notfest.com, which I am part of without being part of. But I was asked to be, a little bit more personal. And that's hard for me because I ask myself, is Ghost back there personal? Are you personal? Is is it real? Am I going to be made out to be one way or another? So for me to do a podcast is very difficult because the podcast is about two people that don't know each other that well and just have a conversation. And all the conversations are probably going to lead to creativity. Yes. I guess that's just a natural thing in me. I'll take that to note though. I am talking to someone who hasn't been to space, but works on planets. And see, I find that an art form. So I don't know how I'm going to talk to him without being like, all right, man, is it real? And he's going to be like, but what I'm saying is, I just want to, I don't want the personal conversation to get confused or me to be made out to be something. I carry a heavy burden, this clown thing. It's first of all, it's who I am. You can't change it, nor can I.
Yeah.
I'm not even from here, right? But imagine, like, I just had this conversation with my wife upstairs. You're like, oh, there's this thing that comes with before you even show up. It's like, I don't know if that's right or wrong. I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if it's human. I don't know if I created that for myself. I don't know if it's real because I'm sitting in it. I know that on heavy moments, mainly family, it's a problem because you would think that I'm just me and that we don't have to think about anything else. Um, but generally, this is what I hear, and I want you to know that like I'm on this new kick.
Right.
And
Okay.
the new kick is that anything that was yesterday is null and void. Period.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I don't care how passionate or if I told you it was factual. It's done. It's over with.
I love that.
Makes no difference to me. But if you're like, is it true you still love your wife? I'd be like, absolutely. Absolutely. More so. More so. So obviously most of everything that I'm saying is null and void remains the same. But anything anybody wants to try to prove otherwise in any hurtful manner without, it's so contrived and foolish. Like I'm just going to start carrying a dictionary with me and require people I do interviews to have one as well. So when things happen, we can both look up words together to define what is happening.
I
And
mean,
because otherwise we're just doing very dumb things to each other. Uh, but I've also learned lately by being selfless, working on being selfless. Mainly, I am not exiting this world without being the best man, human that I can be. Me. It's got nothing to do with anything else. Definitely not Slipknot. Definitely not my wife or kids. Nobody else but me. I'm a human first and foremost, and I'm a male. So I am going to work on being the best male human I can be until that day is, whenever that day is, hopefully far from today.
yeah.
So other than that, I've learned a lot by listening and watching instead of reacting. And I think all of us have seen people not listen, react, and then have to listen later and not be good with the choices and not be good with the responsibility of the choices. And that's sad. That's like not being there for a child on the day that that child needs the largest reward given to she or he in order for the rest of their life to be a little less confusing. But life's all reward for all of us. So it's weird to me always when other humans say, there's this thing that happens before you show up.
Yeah.
And I'd like to think the reason why I went into null and void and the reason why I went into selfless is I would like to think that I personally don't create something on purpose that creates a pain, or I like anxiety. Hell, I got anxiety right now. Anxiety is human. I mean, who the hell doesn't have anxiety or pressure? If it gets to panic, that's a different thing. We don't want to do that to each other. But what I'm basically saying, to bring it full circle, is that I hope that this thing that is so, I'm only talking this long about it because even my manager and I, the word trust came up. And I was like, man, now we're getting all this human stuff happening. And, you know, I need to be treated human. So I like to know that, I do like to know that I cause a little energy and vibration, and that maybe people want to take me on or don't want to take me on, or take it serious or don't take it serious, but at least it's real, either or.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm talking about, is that I'm basically openly admitting to the universe that I purposely don't try to bring others any sort of weird mojo, but I am a strong personality.
Like, what is fascinating about this, Sean, and I think I was so unprepared for this, is I hadn't thought of, is this the longest you've been out of the suit? Like not in
Oh
the
no,
suit and
no,
in
no,
the.
no, no, no. See, just the opposite. So one of my dogs just walked in. Uh, I'll try to show you later, but just the opposite. See, I believe in taking time off in between cycles. And I also believe in supporting the ones you love, Corey Taylor being one of them. He is an artist who has many, as we will, voices, right?
Yes.
And he needs to be able to express those voices without people with big mouths or opinions or ideas. He's human. He's an artist. He has a lot of ideas. In the very early days when it was confusing and the wrong birds were in your ears and you were growing up, you may think you yourself, meaning I, might have thought that meant one thing. But growing up and being wise and learning and teaching yourself, I take that as a gift because I get to slow down. And if you know me personally, I'm full on all day, all night. I tell people, don't wait to eat with me and don't ever try to stay up with me. Don't play that game because it's not a game. It's called chronic insomnia, and it's easier not to eat when you're living in your own imagination because I can eat whatever I want from some place that I don't even exist from while I'm getting stuff done. So bringing it back, I bring this up because very early in the pandemic, many around me who often work with, let's say, Corey Taylor, when he's doing something else, and I'm at home for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years. I've been home, no Slipknot. Letting others, and the phone calls I get are, hi, just checking in, but these are, this is life. This isn't their fault or my fault or his fault. I'm just telling you, you asked a question. So for me, honestly, what I did was I was like, oh, so We Are Not Your Kind got cut in half, just like Iowa did. We toured Iowa 7 months. The airplanes, unfortunately, one of the most tragic days ever for us here on, that took us out, and we respectfully bowed out, and we left it at that. This is the whole planet, and it's been a year already. I've been home for 2.5 years. So when the pandemic started, I gardened. I started making hot sauce with my whiskey. I started learning about vinegar, blah, blah, blah. I did all this crazy crap, started writing new music. What was enjoyable was watching, I'm not throwing you out, but I have seen a lot of people in their spaces, and some of them are in seriously like, this is the only space I'm in. And see, I live on an acreage. I live on 2 acres. So I'm like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go kick a tree real quick and then talk to it. So I am cool, collected. It's why I could do the electric theater. And by the way, to bring that back, I do love it as much as I hate it. But the reason why I hate it is it's so personal. And I always want it to be true for the other person. I never want the other person to feel like I have an angle. And that's why I don't do things like that, because I won't get corralled into corporate weirdo thinking that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
I do. 100% I do.
It scares me to do a podcast because I don't want to let anyone down, especially my fans that I love so much. But that's that. To bring it back, I've been home for 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, it might start being a problem. But right now, I'm writing music. I'm spending family time. I got some new dogs. I'm 51 years old. I always wanted dogs about this age. I grew up with dogs. I haven't had dogs the whole time I've been on the road. I finally got a couple dogs. They bring me so much love. And I've done so many things that I wanted to do. I wanted to start to read. I wanted to start learning Pro Tools more. I wanted to start playing the guitar more. I wanted to better my skills in arranging. I wanted to let the human race know that I might not be what they think I am. And that has been the largest struggle, but also my greatest, it's not an accomplishment yet, but it's what I'm doing right now. It's not, it's, it's art, bro. And I feel I've been misrepresented, and it's my fault. It's my fault. It's nobody else's fault, but my own. But I don't take anything back. I'm not ashamed of anything. I would do it exactly the same way. I don't apologize.
Too true.
I am everything and anything I was and am. Uh, I would only say I wouldn't do it again because I just don't have the strength to do it again. But I wouldn't change a damn thing. But in 2021, I'm really going to take my art serious. So the greatest piece of my art is myself. And I'm going to take stock in myself so seriously. And then I'm going to take what I am as an artist and I'm going to share it to the world, because the world has no idea really, besides what I'm known for, you know. And I would like to do that. So.